It's always a good day when we can have Kira Davis on. Of course, she's the deputy editor over at Red State. You see her on TV all the time. She's fabulous. But we've also got her on to talk about her brand new book, Drawing Lines: Why Conservatives Must Begin to Battle Fiercely in the Arena of Ideas. Kira, congratulations on the book.
Thank you, Larry. I am very proud to have finished something in my life. No, thank you so much for having me on to talk about it. I'm really excited for this book.
I always feel like you and I are sort of like twin brother and sister here in this new world that we've encountered in political media, because we sort of got into this at the same time. It's a second career in our lives.
Mhm.
And we also, I feel like we have something in common in that I am a black woman. No, that's not what we have in common. But what we do have in common is that you and I, we try to engage our political opponents in a respectful, thoughtful conversation. I don't want to interrupt them. I don't want to shout them down. I don't want to destroy them. I want to help change their mind. I want to convince them that my ideas are better. But I get a sense from your book that we've gone a little bit, that ain't working anymore. Am I wrong? And that you want to start getting into it a little bit more.
I'm so glad you said that, Larry, because I think you're the first person that has interviewed me about this book that has really caught that nuance about me. Because you, as you just said so perfectly, I am that kind of person who is into persuasion, critical thinking. In fact, that is what my podcast, Just Listen to Yourself, is based on. Thinking critically through ideas and persuading people. But I realized at one point, and really it had to do with what's been going on in our public school system over the last few years. I realized one day we're not in an era of persuasion right now.
Yeah.
Right now, the progressive left is ruling the Democrat Party. They used to be liberals, now they're progressive leftists, and those people are ideologues, and their idea of unity is erasing one side of the conversation. They've been at war with us while we've been denying that there's a war, or we've been trying to be kind about the war. And I'm that person too. And I realize that we all want peace. You know, we all want to have these respectful discussions. I think most of us do. I won't speak for everyone, but most of us do want to have respectful discussions that maybe even are passionate, but then you kind of go back to being friends and neighbors and coworkers and everyone gets over it. We are not in that space right now.
Yep.
We didn't choose the war, but the war is on our doorstep. And I think in order to get back to a time of peace, we're going to have to draw some lines and take a stand
Yeah.
because we just keep getting pushed back further.
Yeah, and that's why the book, the subtitle of Drawing Lines, is Why Conservatives Must Begin to Battle Fiercely in the Arena of Ideas. Because we've been battling in the arena of ideas for a long time. You know, the guys, the same old white guys and the penny loafers and the blue blazers, sometimes with the really fancy patches on the elbows. And of course, we're going to battle with ideas. But while we're doing that, the left, they've been finding hills to die on. And I think, Kira, you found some hills that I got to read an advanced copy of the book, and I kept thinking, oh, Kira's ready to die on this hill. Kira's ready to die on that hill. Am I wrong? This all, I think, started for you when it came to the agenda in our government-run schools, when it came to the agenda of the curriculum and, frankly, the sexualizing of young children behind their parents' back.
Absolutely. You've had me on this show before last summer when I was running for school board, so you know how important it was for me. But particularly as a Black mother raising Black students, I was really just discouraged by the incursion of critical race theory into our schools and what that was doing to race relations and even to the mentality of our children. And right on top of that came the transgender issue, and then combining those things, I just thought, no, this is actually not okay. I mean, this past month, Larry, our school board has decided to approve tampons and sanitary pads, menstrual pads in boys' bathrooms. This is how insane we are with this topic. And I have a daughter, as do you, and I am not okay with some of the stuff that's happening. And
Yeah.
I realized that while I was really trying to have an adult persuasive conversation about it, the other side was going, sure, but meanwhile, we're going to let this grown man swim against women half his size at the collegiate level, and we're going to call him a woman. Meanwhile, we're going to nominate Caitlyn Jenner as Woman of the Year, even though, Bruce Jenner had literally just changed his gender months earlier.
Yeah.
That's how insane we were getting. And I realized at some point, everyone's got to take a stand, and it's got to be a strong one. So conservatives have been in this discussion. You and I are in the industry of media, and we're having these discussions every day. But a lot of times they center around the ballot box.
Yeah.
And we see that the ballot box is hugely influential. Obviously, it's meant to be the most influential process in our nation, but we've been leaving behind the culture, and we haven't really been getting in. We say, okay, this is distasteful. I'll pull my kids out of public school if that's getting too crazy. I won't watch these movies. I won't listen to this music. I won't entertain any of these pop culture ideas because it's so distasteful. And what we've done is we've actually just left this vacuum, and the left has filled it. And now we're going, oh my gosh, why is it that I can't even watch a show about post-apocalyptic zombies on HBO Max without being subjected to an hour-long, sexual story between two men?
Or tune into the Grammys and you'll see a demonic sexual Satan ritual. You're right, absolutely right. And I think what's frustrating to people is the left never actually had to make their case for these issues. They never actually argued this is why we should change the norms and go to they just did it. They said, this is now what we're doing, and now we have to make the case as to say why it's wrong. So in our final minutes here, Kira, and I do want everyone to buy the book, it's Drawing Lines, Why Conservatives Must Begin to Battle Fiercely in the Arena of Ideas. Give some pointers to people on how they can do that and still somehow maintain friendships, because that's the tough thing. People who read your book, they're going to want to get out there and charge up the hill, and they're going to do it on their Facebook page or in the comment sections of YouTube or on the sidelines of their kids' soccer matches, and they got to fight fiercely, but they also have to do it in a way where they're not ostracized. So how do they do it?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't think there's a way to do that.
Great.
And I think that's been a part of the problem, right? We've not wanted to be ostracized and separated from our own communities. We're seeing that being forced upon us by big tech and by everything that's happened since 2020. There's no way. I do address this in the book, Larry, by the way. I don't leave y'all hanging as readers. I address this. And I tell you ways that you can push forward with this, but I'm afraid there's no way to be strong in the truth and not be disliked. If you think about any truth sayer throughout history, they've always faced criticism. They've always been the subject of vitriol and hatred.
Yeah.
And this book really is about kind of putting on your big girl knickers and getting out there and just saying, okay, I know who I am. I'm okay with who I am. I'm taking a stand because we really can't be pushed back any further. And I give you practical advice for how you can do that outside of arguing on your Facebook page. Every chapter ends with, here's what you can do right where you are.
Well, that's the answer I wanted to hear, and thank you for giving it to us, because that's what we kind of need to hear. And let's face it, for those of you who know your gospel, Jesus Christ was pretty clear. If you stand with me and you stand for what I stand for, you're going to lose friends. You're going to lose maybe even family members or worse. And, well, it all goes along with the territory of standing for what's right. Kira Davis, congratulations. So excited about your new book. Again, get it. Support what Kira does. And also, well, you'll be educated and informed. Drawing Lines, Why Conservatives Must Begin to Battle Fiercely in the Arena of Ideas. There's more to come on O'Connor Tonight.